on to our last map between Atlanta and Anchorage, and we'll be seeing an Oregon pick come out here as we head into our map bans. We do have a new caster in here, Escargo. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, I think he's still getting all plugged in. We got the players in here almost as fast as we got the casters in here, so if he's still getting set up, let's fill some time. We are going to see a Thatcher off the board super quick, and a Flores. Both make sense to clear that utility out of elbow for a downstairs push. And we will be seeing the next ban come out here from Anchorage. Would expect to see a Cade or something, as he's going to be kind of hard to deal with without the Thatcher, but we will see. Seems like they're taking their time coming up with their decision here. It will be a Cade. So to everyone in chat, what are your guys' predictions? What do we think's going to happen with this one? I'm guessing we're going to see much more defender-sided game, given that Oregon is the second most defender-sided map in the pool as of SI, which would be a quick switch up from the fact that we've had a fairly attacker-sided day as a whole. Looking at you, Tampa Bay and Calgary. All right, we are done with bans here. We are going to be headed into our first round with that Capcam ban being the last one. Honestly, becoming a very, very prevalent ban, especially on console. The last designer's notes I saw use at like an 80% ban rate on console, mainly just being a nuisance. Because you have a lot going on around, you don't have time to stare at your ankles at the side of a door frame while someone is swinging you, shooting at your head to check to see if there's a booby trap down there. So we will be seeing a Dorms defense coming up here first.
Attackers need to locate
As we
and
load
defuse
on
as
in
many
here,
bombs as they can.
we'll be seeing a Thunderbird, Mozzie, Mute, Valk, Jaeger. Thunderbird, I guess you could call her the odd pick out. Not too odd to see, but not the most usual heavy defender, but definitely there for the heals. You have a lot of corners, like there in pit and attic, or over by the hatch and kids, where you get stuck in a place, you get naded a lot, you take a lot of chip damage. Having those heals is definitely important. Valk, obviously, great intel. We are going to see a couple
10 seconds
swaps on the attacking side.
5 seconds
See
left.
Say Less swapping from Buck on the Zoe, and then the Mav coming out, likely for an attic push would be my guess. Most common thing, yeah. Seeing the Mav get the bottom of that wall, person on the back stairs covers your person down in the swamp. Swamp, pit, drop, whatever you want to call it. So we will be seeing the first attack coming out here. Yep, Mav over here, going in, gonna make his ingress over by tower. Or you could just be taking a nap. Nope, he will finally hit the repel. We'll be seeing the ace doing the same thing, but over here on the opposite side of the map. Just going to bring this two-pronged push into the top of the map. I see Disser over here getting the windows open. Everything's been droned clear for me. He has the Jaeger on his T1 stairs. Jaeger seems to have moved off towards a meeting. Just going to get his flank watch set up here. Make sure nothing's going to, or no one, rather, will be able to disrupt this breach, as, pulling out a Mav torch is typically kind of a rather tedious task, not exactly the easiest thing to do while trying to shoot back. So, getting the bottom of this wall maved open. Doesn't appear anyone's going to be swinging them from pit, but Disser will be holding this nonetheless. Clears Meat Jammer off wall, and your typical rotate will be coming out here from the Mav of Dalder.
Hello?
Yeah, so far we're about a minute and a half into the round, and we've finally gotten a Wild Escargo. How's it going tonight?
Good, how are you, Knock?
Pretty good. Much better now that I can actually see the game cast. Okay,
Yeah,
well, we
I
are going to
understand
see the
that
first
there's-
pick coming out here from Say Less onto Stingray. Sorry for the cutoff there, but we are about a minute and a half of the round, so we're going to see some of the kills come out as Dean just swings right out onto get the refrag from Sat Window, and he's going to be traded further back from here in Attic, as we are going to see as well Dean go down to Kaons. And here in a 4v2, they're going to be spotting out some of these Valk cams. And moving on with their attack, going to see the reinforcement covering up the rotate, forcing just one way into sight here. So we're going to see the main calc taken down to just +1 in advantage of the attackers here.
Vox with here. Vox is going to take down Balder. Is that Dapper? These are some interesting names for Anchorage. As him and Visser. I'm gonna have to try my best with these names, folks.
Disser's right. I've scrimmed Disser a few times.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that, but certainly going to be a trial and error period for me with these names. But 2v1 situation here. Honestly, Voxed's not in the best spot. They've lost a good amount of the site. They don't really have a way now to rotate into Atrox. Vox is going to take a double kill, actually. Takes down Dapper. Now going to have to face off against Disser. Unfortunately, though, it is post-plant. He has about, I don't know, 10 seconds. Shut down, though. Disser able to capitalize on that angle there. Set up earlier by Atlanta themselves and just finishes them off. Ultimately, I think the numbers game really caught up there for Atlanta and gave Anchorage that first round.
Yeah, good round coming out from Disser. Definitely someone I was looking to watch during this matchup. Mainly because he was on Ottawa Rays. Like, obviously, we had our teams. For a good while before the season got started. He was on Ottawa along with his teammate Kaons for a good bit. We scrimmed him a few times, and yeah, I was kind of surprised to see them move over to Anchorage right before the beginning of the season. But it looks like he's working out pretty well in his new home here in the first round.
Yeah, they certainly. I mean, it's only one. It's the first game of the season, so I can't say too much. But from a single round, they seem pretty put together. On the other side, you have Atlanta Atrox. From my understanding, very new to Hyper Series, but a very well established team, very old team. So although their lineup has changed over time, I know that they certainly have a good amount of players that are really sort of a consistent stack and sort of gel well together. We'll have to see if they can continue to have some success here.
Yeah, and we're going to be moving on to our basement defense. Like we were talking about in the last game, don't want to stick a sight too many times in a row. If you're not winning it, go ahead, get off it. Take the familiarity away from the attack, kind of change up the rhythm and the flow of the round, and just provide them with a different setup to push into. So we're going to be seeing, again, that Thunderbird, but this time on Dean. So we'll see how they put that to use. Not going to see any extension into elbow whatsoever, but rather just mirrors on your E-box while on your launcher roll. Pretty default setup here on site in general. Kind of looks like a 4-1 setup. One guy's going to be roaming up on the top floor, 4 guys holding down site.
Yeah, I mean it's just a really standard setup. I don't think that there's anything spectacular about it. I am a bit concerned though. They do have those mirrors there on E-box, and then also the one in sort of closet. But without that Cade, the E-box hatch is really exposed, and they do have that fuse. So as Disser is down there, taken down actually, Fox is going to be traded, but he did manage to take down Disser, so pretty big kill actually for Atlanta. Getting rid of that flank watch, getting rid of some of that active utility there is going to be big for them. And now, as I was fearing, it's going to be actually Alder with those fuse charges, just clearing out that mirror window. Now going to put down one of the can openers, secondary heart reach gadgets, allowing a bit more flexibility here for this offensive team in terms of how they're going to get these walls open. They will get that hatch, however, the E-box hatch open, and sort of push back this Atlanta hold. Going to remove them from pillar and push them out from E-box. So really not the best start here for this defensive team, but they do have some time to burn.
Yeah, not the greatest start, but they are putting those Thunderbird gadgets to good use already. Jose was down very low, and now Stingray is going to be very low, looking to put these gadgets to use. However, they've all been used, and they're being recharged, and Ant's going to go down to the player in Freezer, 2 in Freezer now, and 2 over on the pillar side. So we're going to see how they intend to counter this, and it's going to be Dapper going down, but also Stingray and Jose going down, quickly traded back, and that's going to be round number 1 for Atrox.
A bit of a messy round there, I would say, for Atlanta. I mean, just they got a single kill off of the roam, which is fine. I would say they would probably want to get more time burned off of their singular roamer, but they did get a good kill, and then just from there it went downhill. You know, they lost E-box, they started losing pillar, started dealing with a lot of pressure there, and just none of them could win gunfights. And again, we saw Anchorage really just sort of pincer on the site and compress and eliminate whatever remained of Atlanta's defense.
Yeah, and I misspoke. That was the second round for Anchorage, so my bad. But yeah, I think just very default setup, not a whole lot of offsite presence, just allows the attack to kind of not, they don't have to roam clear, they can just work right on in to an execute basically, and that's kind of what we saw there. I mean, at a minute 40 mark, you're sitting and a 3v4 in your defense already kind of falling off. All your main positions, probably not the most efficient round that you wanted. And also, another thing I noticed with, you have a mirror on E-Box, you have elbow reinforced off, you're probably trying to play to trap them in bunker, but they just kind of let them run in. They didn't have any C4 holes opened up. The mirror did not get aggressive. Just kind of a very relaxed, kind of stagnant round, and Anchorage took good advantage of that. So we are going to head right on back up here to dorms, same side that they played the first round, to see if they can bring something different. They're going to add the Frost to the rotation this time, and Dean's going to be back on that Thunderbird for the second straight round. The Mute coming out as well. I forget if that was there the first round, but a very similar attacking lineup. Going to look like this Attic and Game split push coming in with the Ace and the Maverick.
Yeah, I would agree with what you were saying about that last round. Just a bit of a mess. One thing that is interesting that I'm going to quickly point out before we move on to this next round is that both teams left Jackal up on the board, and we have seen Anchorage take really good advantage of that. Just a great roam clear operator. So I think that that's smart tactics of them, and it's going to make it even harder for Atlanta and eventually for Anchorage possibly to get a real effective roam going. But now we're seeing that Dean sort of roaming below is the Thunderbird, sort of the quintessential operator, along with that Jaeger, really popular for that healing and as well as the frag power with the spear and that bearing 9. Sayla's going to take a bit of damage here as he's trying to push this classroom player. There'll be Stingray holding below, taken down there pretty early on, getting a man advantage now for Anchorage, and they do have this vertical control now. Going to probably look for the game push, likely getting that vertical to remove any mutes that were on that game wall, which I'm sure if they were there now, they're almost certainly gone, courtesy of a lifeline impact from Say Less. Kaon's going to take a bit of damage. He's actually down and out, courtesy of Dean. Smoke Wave going to go out from Voxit pretty early for that, about half the round remaining. Don't know if that's exactly the best strategy here, but he's certainly going to push back. Dapper is not going to try and get an ace charge down over there. Walks up, but Joe takes down Disser. There goes again pretty early that Nomad off the board. But a man advantage actually favoring Atlanta here, moving into the latter half of this round as this game push is starting to shape up. We'll see Say Less trying to clear out this armory side, trying to provide some support for his team. Maybe looking to remove the trophy hole that we saw earlier, actually, with the shield. Might have actually impacted that earlier, using that second lifeline. Not sure if it was covered by the ADS, of an ADS from Waxabajo, though. And now just trying to really take advantage of what Atlanta set up here. We saw that in the first round with the attic push, where they just used that to finish off that last player for Atlanta in the post plant. To see if they can get another pick off of that is it's going to be Say Less trying to peek this, trying to quick peek, trying to get another frag. He's going to spot one over on that kid side. He's done some cover fire, it seems, trying to push forward now. Very low, though. Practically a gust of wind could take him out, and that'll be Voxit swinging, killing him. Man advantage now firmly in the side of Atlanta. Voxit's going to take a solid amount of damage there. He does smoke out Boulder. He's finished off. Voxit with a double kill, though. That'll be Dapper trying to swing and trying to get a kill. Ants next shuts him down, though. And ultimately, the numbers game, well played for Atrox, gets them their first round here.
Yeah, well played on the numbers game. If they didn't have that, I would be worried, because Dapper looked pretty filled with conviction there on getting into the site, mowing a couple people down, but just unfortunately, you can't shoot 4 directions at once. But fortunately, first round for Atlanta, they're going to be getting on the board here. Again, just as the day has gone on, just the game has been attacker-sided, I feel like. Definitely with, new meta is more attacker-sided than previous metas like the 20-second meta. Just with the way, you can't keep walls shut. There's a million ways to go about basically anything with any attacking lineup now. But just in general, you see a whole lot more options for the attack. And yeah, team's already taking advantage of that here on day 1.
Absolutely. We moved away from the 20-second meta a long time ago, but talking about that for a moment, you did mention, I remember after the last time Atlanta tried and failed on this site, that just not much there for Anchorage to deal with for them to collapse, and so I wonder if they're gonna try and bring something a bit more heavy here. And back in the 20-second meta, we would see a lot of Goyo, Maestro, Castle operators really meant to just soak up utility. I don't know if we're really seeing that here. I don't know if that's their MO, but I'm going to be interested to see what they're looking to do with now an Oryx on the board.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. I get it's not their ban, but no Thatcher, which was their ban, but no Flores really opens up your playbook to extend elbow, and we haven't seen that either of these basement defenses yet. You can set up the ADSs, which they have, put a smoke and elbow, put a shield down. It's going to be very hard to clear without those drones. But just hasn't been what they go to yet, but we will see how they switch things up, try and kind of slow this down. Doesn't appear we have a few more bodies starting up off site. As we can see, 3 people out on the roam right now, and we'll see how Anchorage wants to deal with that in their attack.
We'll have to see. I mean, I don't think that Atrox has really tested Atlanta with a really heavy roam approach here. We'll have to see if
Mhm.
that works for them or if it ends up backfiring. I could see it, being an issue for them considering how heavy they are offsite. But just off of first impressions, it looks like it's going to be actually a bunker push or some sort of bunker push from Anchorage. Ant going to take down Say Less. The Jackal off the board now, an important first pick for Atlanta. Now an EMP going to go out as Dapper is in position here. He's
Off the
taking elbow, he's
elbow.
taking that mirror window down, and I think he's just gonna try and put some pressure now on this mirror here. Of walks if Joe Nitro goes out. I think that's all of their
It's a
nitros
double
actually.
nitro.
Yeah, 2 nitros missed. Certainly scared him off, but didn't really do any damage, which is kind of more important than just scaring a guy off for 2 seconds. And as they now basically have bunker control, E-Box is cleared out. Daughter is gonna take some damage there, but he does finish off walks up Joe. The mirror out of the round. And they have a man advantage. They actually brought it back to even. Not a man advantage just yet. Might be looking for that, though. Is that'll be Kaons. Unfortunately, taken down by Stingray. Holding down the line here, really, at Pillar. He's going to be probably pretty important to the remaining part of this round. He's just holding this really long, important angle. That'll be Pisser on site. Taken out, actually. Traded out by Voxid for Stingray. The Pillar side empty now. Don't know if Anchorage is going to be able to capitalize on that, though. Dapper's on this breach, trying to make some pressure, trying to make something happen. Actually, Dalder gonna bring back to even, takes down Antonex, trading out his teammate from earlier in the round. Gonna try and make his way down highway, spotted by Vox. It stops him on the swing. Triple kill from Dalder, looking for a fourth, possibly that'll be Dean, the last one left, covering this cubby here, trying to maybe find Dalder. Here's Dapper on the flank, and actually throw out a Nitro, and will be stuck, but does get the
He
Nitro
gets
kill.
it down.
Double kill from Dean. 1v1 now between him and Dalder. Swing by Dalder, quad kill from the IQ. Clutching
What a
up the round,
round.
another win here on basement for Anchorage.
Yeah, what a round there from Dalder. I mean, in general, as an attack, I think it was kind of very singular pronged, just kind of pushing in bunker. Like they definitely got great map control off rip, but they didn't really push down backstairs. We saw that pillar control last very long into the round. We even saw Disser walk down main stairs. I believe he shot the ADS before he actually shot the pillar player, but got the kill nonetheless. But yeah, definitely Dalder coming through very clutch that round. Without that solo round from him, I don't think they pull that off. They did kind of have a heavy stall, weren't really able to get the map control necessary to get a plant down until kind of in that late 2vx situation, and honestly saved by the fact that plant takes 7 seconds, not 7.5, because if it would, that C4 would have taken out the planter before it got down.
Yeah, just a really close situation there. Luckily managed to get it down, and strangely enough, we will see them return, but this time they will be opting for this elbow hold. I'm going to be interested to see how Anchorage reacts and how this affects the Atlanta defense.
Yeah, another thing I'm going to be interested in is at what point would Atlanta feel they need to take a timeout? We did see, I think we've only seen one timeout today, one tactical timeout, that is. We did have a couple tech pauses, but, down 3 defenses on Oregon is not where you want to be, especially with, Flores and Thatcher out of the equation. Makes it a lot harder to deal with util-heavy setups, but we're not seeing util-heavy setups from Atlanta so far. Definitely a change here, though, bringing out the Swamai, having the smoke, having the Mira, but, tripling down now here on the bottom floor, so we'll see if this change of pace can help assist them in winning another round here.
And strangely enough, looks like we have sort of a soft extension that'll be ISO, or say less actually, picked off by Stingray. Early aggressive play from the Wamai. Actually able to capitalize, though. Not sure if I'd really want the Wamai at this point in the round going out and getting frags, but I guess if you're taking out their Jackal, that's going to help you. moving that roam clear element certainly going to pay off. That'll be Stingray getting a double kill. He's holding the soft extension that I was about to mention over on the security and kitchen side does take down Dapper. That's two big kills actually for the Wamai here. Not only the Jackal, but also their only hard reach. I mean, sure, they have Disser with those EMPs, but he's not going to be able to get any walls open now, and that's going to certainly throw a wrench into their plans here.
Yeah, I mean, just a big loss losing the ace this early in the round. I mean, the Jackal also lost, but I'm most happy and impressed to see a very big change in pace here from the setup, from going from, very strong site-heavy presence to a much more extended roam here, as we're going to see Stingray taking some shots down here from Shower Corridor, and he's just going to keep wasting time. We're at a minute and 20 left in the round, and they haven't even thought about site yet here on the attack. And Ant's going to be getting the refrag onto Dalder there, just keeping the man count even, but still, 4v2 working your way into a potential execute, not where you want to be, but they're both going to be working their way down the freezer stairs, and no one's actually covering freezer stairs. You got one covering freezer door, but they seem to have gotten the call that they're coming down freezer stairs. You see the defense rotate over here.
Yeah, Ant's moving into position, trying to get something to happen here. I think walks up Jose actually rotating around. Ant's gonna swing it, gets a kill there, actually double kill for himself. Looking for the third, stopped by Kaons, who gets the trade, but still not the best position for them to be in here. And so it'll be Dean trying to get a flank now. Is might be just a bit of a pincer against Kaons the last part of this round. Gonna swing across, finds him, headshot, and that'll be down to the round for Anchorage. Atrox able to actually pick up their first win in 3 attempts on basement.
Yeah, definitely good to see. I really think it's all on the change of pace there. Like, the first two basement attacks, Anchorage was opening walls in barrel, or sorry, in bunker. Minute and 45 left in the round. They were pushing showers with a minute and 20 left this round. So definitely being able to change up the pace, disrupt the attack, and just throw something different at them there was definitely able to make it stick. And honestly, as a viewer, I'm saying, where was that the first couple of rounds?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a real big change in tone as you mentioned. They brought the blue elbow hold, and they also had that vertical hold. And one thing that I found really interesting and kind of ironic is that they had, I would say, most of their lineup. They had 3 guys that would be useful or are mainly oriented towards roam clearing. They had Jackal, who's arguably the best roam clearing operator in the game. You have Dokkaebi, who is providing great intel through those calls, through that audio queue, and then you have Lion. And obviously, each of these operators can be used in different contexts, but those 3 players should make it, you know, HE
Yeah, I
double
mean,
hockey sticks for, for Voxit or for whoever's roaming. But no, 2 of those guys, you lose the Jackal and you lose your heart reach in the first minute. They
yeah, I mean, definitely
struggled to clear
questionable.
him out.
Because, I mean, a roamer's worst nightmare is just seeing tracked by a Jackal, E1D inbound, and your phone's ringing. All you gotta do is Dokkaebi in line is press a button, and they didn't. They were the last 2 left up on the board, but can't really do much. If 2 people are swinging you during a line call, like, cool, you know where they are, but they're both shooting you. You can't shoot them both at the same time. So, I mean, I think just more credit is owed due to that defensive setup. I think the swap was just a really good choice there. Just throwing something different at the attack. I mean, we all kind of get into patterns. Our brains love patterns, but you attack the same setup a couple times. We're gonna do that again. And then you look at something that's completely different. You're just like, I don't know what to do now. But we're back upstairs, and it looks like they know exactly what they want to do because it seems like the same exact push. We're gonna have the map over here opening up the attic wall. We're actually gonna have Dalder opening this with the hard breach charge. It's muted. They're just gonna have to shoot that off super quick. That shouldn't be too difficult whatsoever. Meanwhile, Ace is over there on the other side of the map, getting that open. We're going to see the drone come out here from Dollar, see if they can make their entry in here into Attic, see what they can get done here early in the round.
Nectar going out there from below. I'm not sure exactly who that was. I think it was Stingray, who's just been sort of a nuisance for them below, trying to get a kill and not really dealing with him. Sure, they're trying to take pot shots at him, but nobody's really going after him, I don't think. Half the round is elapsed. Voxit's trying to hold down the line here, but kind of split between 2 spots, trying to cover both this game wall and that shield that he had set up over on the trophy side. Stingray going to take down Dollar, removing that cap attack and will provide some good support for his team.
Yeah,
Lost
kind of
now.
worry about, yeah, this flank may be open for Dollar. I get that there's probably a Nomad charge up there, but he's just going to make his way back towards White. As Disser falls on site to Vox. He's going to be making his way up White here as Kaons takes some chip damage and downs Vox in the process. Stingray's going to be playing top White here. Does some damage onto Dapper. He looks like he's just going to go back over towards Master. Playing the shield here, seems aware of the players on Breach and Attic as we level things out of 3v3s. Dapper finishes on Vox. That's going to be Say Less getting down as well. Kaon's getting the frag onto Ant. We're going to be left in an essential 2v2 as one swings up on the shield. The shotgun's not going to be good enough as Kaon gets the frag. He's got to get the second onto Waxip Jose. That's going to be another attacking round here for Anchorage and a 4-2 half on attack on Oregon. I mean, if someone offered that to me, I'd be taking it in a heartbeat.
I mean, that's great. That's a great position for Anchorage to be in. Like you mentioned, I think that just continues the streak of attacking teams really having strong performances here on today. And Anchorage is in a good spot here. I mean, they have a 2-round lead. They are now going out to defense on Oregon. Although, admittedly, the fact that they don't have that Cade is going to make it a bit harder here for them, especially on this basement site, which seems to be what they're dialing up first. But again, another round here where we saw one player on Anchorage really sort of carry the most of the burden, I suppose, of that fragging for the team. So I don't know if that's exactly the best way to go about it. I might be a bit concerned by it, but a round win is a round win, I suppose.
It is indeed. They all show up the same way on the scoreboard. So, I mean, that is the most important part. We are going to see basement defense. I am very interested to see how much variation we get here. If we're going to see something more looking like the first couple of defenses from Atrox or the last one, just see something site heavy or roam heavy. The Orcs would tell me we want to get out of sight unless you're just really in love with the T5. But yeah, this lineup from the defense screams, let's roam a good bit, waste some time. But the lineup on the attacking side also screams to me, let's just walk in bunker. Typically you'll use a blitz over a Monty here, but it's up to the team's preference, to be honest.
Yeah, I personally haven't seen a whole lot of Monty. I think that he is sort of a lost gem. He can be very impactful and very helpful when a team knows how to sort of utilize his ability to the best. But the Oryx might be a bit of a problem for that Monty, though I don't think that he's going to be anywhere nearby. Stinger looking to hunt him down here as the elbow hold is noted by Waxip Jose. Going to just try and adjust himself accordingly to that. But with the Mira and that elbow hold there, it's probably not going to be the best idea to be pressuring that just yet. Certainly want to get the E-Box hatch first. Don't know if that's going to really be what they're looking for, considering that the Oryx is still running around there and don't seem to really be going after him. I mean, sure, they have the Jackal up there, but nobody's really helping him out. Nobody's really accompanying him. Nothing up there. Ant's going to take down Dollar. First kill for the 4 Aatrox is going to actually be in on that roam side. Nitro goes out there, misses Jose entirely. Just sort of trying to bounce him around here. He's now made his way into Pillar and is going to try and deal with the pressure, but probably not the best spot for him to be in at the moment. Maybe some assistance coming down. Boilers, that'll be actually 3v5. Voxa takes down Disser, and the Mira cleared out going to certainly allow them some more freedom here, though not exactly opened up yet. Just got the player off of it. The Monty seeming to really be an X factor here. That'll mean that now 1v5 stopped entirely, actually. As what a statement from Atrox. I mean, they just showed up and steamrolled.
Yeah, we were talking about pace early on, and that pace was even faster than the one said earlier. If I'm Anchorage, I get you're in the lead, but I would think about taking a timeout here. I mean, you just got it ran through like you're a treadmill in about 15 seconds on that site. You got to be able to adjust to the pace, and I think having 30 seconds between rounds to talk about that is enough. Just take your time, in my opinion, kind of talk it over, adjust your setups, and make sure that you can take advantage of this lead you have on your defense. You have some rounds to play with, but you don't want to have to risk those if you don't have to. Especially when you're in a position to, by community standards, pull off an upset here. Did a quick search. 73% of the community poll today in the Discord server was in favor of Atlanta. So, Anchorage trying to play underdog here. But we will see if they're able to pull that off here as they head up to the dorms and kids site.
We'll have to see if they're able to pull off Princeton. Sorry to make a March Madness reference, and sorry if your bracket's been busted already, but
Yeah, I'm a Mizzou fan. You just hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. It's all in good fun, but
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
survive.
certainly the timeout would be justified. I think that the Monty was what really threw them off there, but interestingly enough, we won't see a Monty. We'll see sort of a mini shield with
Yeah.
Waxaba Jose switching to the Osa here. I'll have to see how that affects their strategy. I mean, not exactly the same thing as a Blitz or a Monty, but at least you're able to bring the PDW-9.
Yeah, I love the PDW, especially this season. Just with the barrel changes, I mean, obviously to each their own, but I feel like hop angled on it just hits different for some reason. It never has recoil anyways, but it's just a little something special on top of everything that it already offers, including that 50 bullet mag and that 800 RPM fire rate. So we will be seeing, looks like a main master side take from the Osa, Ace, and Nomad here. Nomad probably setting up flank watch over on the bottom white run out, just ensuring that this takeover by master can't be disrupted by an aggressive defender. And I don't know if there's any util over here. Well, likely a mute jammer. Yep, as he tosses a drone right into the mute jammer. Just gonna need one to go below to be able to get that off. And that ace will automatically detonate, just like Kaon's head was just detonated by Stingray over here in Small Tower. IQ, not positive, but likely putting her primary gadget to use to spot out that vigil on the roam. Or could have just been a drone, but moving on, we will be seeing this Osa push up here onto the shield in Trophy. Shield on shield action. Even if I'm Frost in this position, I don't really know how I want to approach this. Just kind of sitting in a corner, gonna get herself cornered and pre-fired. Not sure that's the way I would have played that, but nonetheless, the Disper's wiped off the board. Good play by Jose there, being able to use his shields to good effect.
Dapper picking off Ants, removing that flank watch, but I think most of his utility is down, so not really going to change the game here. Daughter taking a frag there onto Jose, able to clear out that Osa before he got the second shield down, but still probably going to be a bit of an issue now. Dapper getting a second kill, holding down the line here, really covering both sides. Both White Stairs and this game reach gets the second kill onto that player on White Stairs. Wipes Stingray right off the map, so it's just Voxit and Dean to try and recover this round for Atrox, try and get a streak going, possibly try and bring it back to even now. I think Dapper's just going to try and recover here as Voxit and Dean is going to try and follow through with this trophy push onto this main side. When they have 40 seconds left, they should be able to get a plant down if they're wise about this, trying to just find a member of Anchorage to single out and to take down. That'll be Voxit looking to swing here, looking to possibly take down a guy by Big Winner that they noticed might have been Dapper there.
Yeah,
Trying to get into an angle. That'd be Say just waiting, kind of lying in wait, set the trap, detonated it. Stainless gonna get a second kill actually. Dean traded out there, and another round win here for Anchorage, who are gonna press forward, returning to that 2-round advantage now.
Yeah, I think that definitely, like you said, if they played it smart, could have gotten a plant down there. I'm not sure if they really communicated it the best, but I believe that that attic rotating the kids was reinforced off, which would have allowed, if you breach that right trophy wall, kind of a free rotate to plant there, kind of on bricks just inside the attic door. Obviously, you only got one guy to cover a plant there against 3 people swinging you, but with the positioning there, they all got to swing you from the same spot. So definitely could have made it work differently, but 2v3, probably cluttered comms, a lot going on, a million decisions to make. That's just what I can see from an omniscient view. So, biggest thing for me was just Jose walking in, taking control with that Osa shield, getting the fight onto Frost. Wasn't technically an entry frag, but it was the first frag over by site that really picked up meaningful map control.
Yeah, and after that, not much else in terms of meaningful map control. I mean, sure, they got Attic, but weren't able to really do anything after that. They just sort of got. I mean, they ran into a wall, physically and figuratively.
Yeah, they ran into that wall, just kind of stalled out. I found it interesting. Yeah, you only had one ace charge left on the board at that point in the round, so they had the mute jammer on that kid's wall, so you're not opening that up. But yeah, I think more could have been done, but yeah, hindsight 2020. You're just gonna have to remember that for future rounds if you get there. But I think Anchorage is hoping they don't have to use that information, just hoping to win out the next 2 rounds here and move on to their next match. And it's the opening frag coming out here from Dean on to Say Less. And that's going to be another one from Stingray onto Kaons as well. And that's going to be a quick 2 frags in the first 30 seconds here. And tower control firmly in the hands of Atlanta.
Yeah, this is a dangerous spot right now for this defending team to be in. They're down by 2 players. They've already lost tower stairs, and I mean, not even a minute's elapsed here. They really need to be cautious about how they take the rest of this round, because they could very easily lose this and very easily return to what they just were trying to escape. As Atrox almost tying it back up. I think Atrox almost has control of that E-box hatch. It'll be Dapper just narrowly avoiding getting shot at from that, as him, Dalder, and Disser try and hold down the line. Stinger will fall just completely unaware of Dapper holding that angle there. The Monty here
Just now making his way in.
trying to clear out this smoke now. Boxit holds down, actually, Disser getting a quick double kill, able to clear out that entire bunker push. Takes down Walks Up Jose as well as Boxit covering him. Refrag covered by Dean, gonna take him out. Now traded by Dalder, 2v1 situation here, 1v1, and takes down Dapper, and that's just him versus Dalder here. Dalder looking for a match point now in a 1v1 situation, gonna try and recover this round, trying to bring it back together. He's gonna just push off Dalder, actually. Ant's gonna die now, and another round.
I don't think either one of them knew where the other was. I was definitely an interesting engagement there at the end. I was about to commend Atlanta for their patience there at the beginning, picking up the first 2 frags. It gets really easy to just kind of follow those up, make your way down into sight, and try and continue on with the round. But they definitely slowed it down, made sure they got E-box hatch open, went through their steps, like those steps Hockey was talking about when we were talking on Clubhouse. But they got hatch open, and they kind of threw their drones by the wayside. They didn't use them. They didn't get a whole lot of intel, just kind of said, we have man advantage. If we trade every kill, we'll win the round. Except they didn't trade every kill. We were able to see Dapper getting that frag on the nice little angle on that pillar wall on the backstairs to kind of open up the killing during the execute. And I think, all in all, you just got to be more disciplined than that if you're Atlanta.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that's encapsulated in just one, 5-second clip there. They were pushing. They had 2 players against the smoke. I believe it was Dapper that was the smoke.
Disser.
Down blue, or
yeah, Disser was in the corner on the smoke.
Okay, so it was Disser as the smoke, and they had the Monty of Walks Up Jose, and then I think Voxit as the ace accompanying him, and so it's a 2v1. There's basically nobody else to help Disser there, and just really poor coordination and not a lot of communication between them. Gave up Voxit, so there goes your hard breach, and then Walks Up Jose very quickly finished off there. Just not the way that you really want to do it if you're Atrox. So
yeah, they gave them the picks one by one there. I have the replay up right now, and just when you have a Monty and then someone pushing behind you to clear a person, you got to make sure that the Monty's a threat to the guy to make sure he can't prioritize the person who actually has a gun up. So yeah, not unextending the shield before the guy swang definitely probably allowed Disser to make that play, which definitely is coming in very large to put them on a match point here.
Yeah, so now sort of a go big or go home, I suppose, for Voxit and the rest of Atlanta. Just need to be disciplined here and need to capitalize on any early frags they can get against Anchorage if they want to win this round, if they want to stay alive here. It's going to be difficult for Anchorage, though, however, as they are on Kitchen, which is, usually a tertiary site, so likely not their strongest hold and likely not the easiest objective to defend. We'll have to see if they're able to get a side sweep and close this game out for them rather dominantly in 7-3 fashion, or if they're going to just extend this series a bit.
Yeah, again, throwing off the familiarity. Obviously, they don't really have a choice, but opting to go kitchen dining instead of kitchen meeting. And Disser is going to be just sitting on cams for the rest of the round as he just eats a nade from Dean. Will be sitting out for the rest of the round as he's the opening pick. We already have one player pushed up into Z. Should be able to get anything off of that meeting wall as Therm's going to be able to open that. That's going to be Jose popping that open with his little gremlin fingers on a Therm. So that wall's going to be open. Now is the part where they really need to get this intel of where everyone is on site if they want to work into an execute. It's that bridge from your opening clear into the execute that needs to be fixed, but that's going to be your hard breach and primary droner down. As Dalder gets the frag onto Jose there, so evening things back up at a 4v4, and there's no attic control here for Atlanta. If you don't have attic control, you can't confidently play within meeting and go for this execute. So Dalder's just going to sit here and drop and wait for someone to come clear him out. There's only 50 seconds to get that done. So Atlanta's either going to have to switch up their push or just shoot him from the window. Dalder's just going to expose himself to outside when really he just had the whole round locked up there. But instead, it's going to be a 4v3 here, and they're going to be able to reprioritize this execute.
Boxed now looking for the plant just right in that corner, right by the breach. 2 players covering him here, and does get it stuck, so they have a pretty good position now. They don't have to worry about vertical. They have the plant down. They have man advantage. Dapper down. Kaon's dead. Les, the only one left. Gets a nitro there. Anthony finishes off Dapper. Looking for a second kill. He'll get it there onto Dean. Him against Ant and Voxid. Voxid finishes him off, though. Brings it 1 round closer to overtime here for Atlanta. Atrox gonna pick this tertiary site up, but probably a pretty daunting challenge in this next round, as they will have to now attack arguably the strongest site for for this defending team for Anchorage, this top 4 site.
Yeah, I think obviously they won the round. Good for them, but I'm not sure that Atlanta Atrox were able to win the round as much as Anchorage was able to lose the round. I mean, you had Dalder had the entire execute cut off just playing attic. He doesn't need to leave attic when someone punches that window. You can just chill there. It's 50 seconds. They have to come get you, kill you, and then work into their execute with very limited time. And instead he just kind of gave that frag out to the Nomad of Ant and just allowed them to reprioritize that execute, as I was saying, since there's really no one else to keep it from happening, since everyone in kitchen was kind of piled up on that pillar area. But we'll see if they can adjust off of that and just try and be a little less aggressive and just kind of be happy with what they have in the future rounds. So we work here into another Dorms defense. Defense lineup looking pretty similar. We already see Kaon's on the alibi. Gonna see, it'd be interesting how he puts these to use, as he's just now tossing them down. Not exactly positive where he's doing that. Appears to be over in kids. You're gonna see a lot of people over here spawning in the construction site spawn. Just an ace on the board, no Mav. So hard breach utility kind of spread thin. No hard breach charges from the Nook or the Ying. Nook makes sense. We love our nades, but you are kind of spreading those Selma gadgets kind of thin if you want to get both the attic and the main breach open. Oh, and the feet are going to poke out here from Disser. Let's give a free kill to Vox. I don't think he was aware that anyone was out on the balcony. Obviously, the barricade hadn't been broken yet, but he was just sitting over there on drone hole and just meandered his way into Fox's crosshairs there. So that's going to be a free entry pick there for the hard breach.
Jeez, not a great start here for Anchorage. And I mean, last round we saw how one small mistake can cost them the round. Well, I'm sure for Anchorage fans, they're gonna have to hope that that doesn't cost them another round here. But admittedly, it's still 2 minutes left. 5v4 situation. They could very easily come back from this. Just have to see if they're able to really adjust here. That's gonna be Voxen now looking to get this game wall open. Assisted actually by, I think, EMP going out from Ant, just to help them out here. As that'll be now some pressure being applied to Say Less on that shield, as this should just be the remaining players for Anchorage all on site, all trying to hold their angles, all trying to really say the buck stops here and, you know, close this game out finally at match point. Gonna try and maybe hold a long angle here. Say Less in a pretty key position, holding down this trophy side, holding down basically the entirety of this push. It'll be Stinger getting a quick double kill onto site now. Say Less and Dalder both down. Dapper and Kaon's the last one left. 1v4 situation. Kaon's takes down Stinger, trading him out there. But still not a good spot for him to be in. A minute left. Heavily outnumbered. Plant going down by Foxit. Trying to deal with some aggressive play from Dion. And walks up on Jose, just finishes him off there. Trades his teammate out. And it's now almost overtime.
Yeah, I mean that was a much better attack from Atrox. I'll say they didn't have the added control that I would, expect them to have for an attack to be that successful that quickly. But, free first pick right off rip, no contention on that. Desser not realizing there was anyone out on the balcony. That's just unfortunate for him. And I think that was kind of the theme of the round. We saw the Thunderbird of Dapper playing over by White Stairs after, one guy's died, Master, Cam's been shot, Master, two or breaches coming up, Master, and he's watching down White. So it seemed like there was just a pretty large lack of intel on the defensive side. Obviously, no intel ops coming out, but the default cams and sound and other calls just were not supplementing that lack of intel. So maybe kind of an adjustment. You got the Malusi here, and you got the Azami here to kind of help with that. Obviously, you don't think of Azami as an intel op, but you put crackers up, they have to get broken. You're going to hear that. Same thing with the Malusis. You're going to hear them go off whenever someone tries to enter through a doorway or breach or just any hallway. So giving you more additional intel other than just those default cams.
Yeah, I mean, I think intel has been a real problem for both of these teams. Admittedly,
Agreed.
I don't think either of them have really been focusing on intel or taking advantage of intel or really trying to deny it. We have seen them mute, admittedly, but we haven't seen a mute really, I would say, used for mainly for intel now, just sort of all-purpose. And he is sort of an all-purpose operator.
Yeah.
But I think that it would be good if we saw from either team more and more effective use of intel gathering or intel denial.
Yeah, I think that mute mainly has been used as kind of just a counter breach operator. We've seen the mute jammers shot off of attic walls countless times now at this point, just by the Mavericks. We'll see if the intel provided here by the Malusi is going to play more. No mute here, but with that Flores ban, hypothetically you could stick around longer in elbow, but Disser says no thanks. I'm going to reinforce off here. And because of the bandit and no Cade, he's going to have to place this battery down now. And I have lost connection to my feed, so give me 1 second.
Okay. Well, while Nocturnal is over there trying to troubleshoot on his side, we're going to see Dalder just trying to play this bit of an aggressive play actually on the freezer side, maybe looking for some sort of play or some sort of push from Atrox, but I haven't really seen them push that area, at least not early in the round. We have seen them do that later when trying to provide some additional pressure on the objective, but not really this early point. So as we reach about halfway through this final round before the start of overtime or before the end of the game, depending on how this round turns out, I think Atrox, crossing their T's, dotting their I's, getting the intel, trying to find those players, trying to take them out. One of those Malusi is going to be triggered and taken down by Ant. But trying to deal with the Malusi and the Barb and to keep a barrier there, and a player holding that melee hold, the Malusi there, as Disser actually going to take down Stinger, getting an opening kill here. Might be the money in the end here for Atrox. Say less, picked off by Voxit, removed from that melee hole there that was set up. Voxit now has a pretty nice sightline onto the objective. Going to spot one on the freezer side. It'll be Dean taking down Disser. 3v4 situation. Man advantage going to favor Atrox. Brought it back to even now. Dapper going to take down Ant next. And it's up to just him, Dalder, and Kaon to try and bring this round together to try and close this game out, which they have been looking for quite a while now. And I think they're just going to try and really hold the line here. That'll be Kaon's on the freezer side taking down Waxip Jose. That'll be actually Dean picking down Dapper. It's essentially 1v2 now. Dalder is offside. He is outnumbered. Voxit's banged up, but he's looking for the plant. And Kaon's is downed. I don't think he's near a Thunderbird. There isn't even a Thunderbird that can help him revive. Plant is down now. 1v2 situation, essentially. Voxit holding this postman as well as Dean. Maybe some intel, and that'll be Voxit and Dean cleaning up here on aisle 12, bringing this to overtime.
Yeah, what a comeback here. Coming from 6-3, we thought it was just going to be, okay, guys, get out the dustpans, finish sweeping up the little crumbs we got left to finish off here, but instead, Atlanta Atrox is not going to go away easily. They're going to be forcing OT here, which means both teams confirmed to get at least 1 point from this matchup, and it's going to be our first OT game here in Hyper Series Season 3. So we're going to be seeing the Dorms kids site come out of Anchorage here, as I'm getting back reacquainted with watching the stream. Don't know what my phone decided to do. It just said no more feed for you for a sec. So got that all fixed. Definitely cleaning up their attacks, and it's been, like I said, a theme throughout. When we're talking on club, momentum's been a theme today. We've seen rounds being won in chunks for the most part today. And like we saw in this last defensive half for Anchorage, it's just been won in chunks of 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just been these two teams sort of hitting rallies, but this is all about can you win on both sides. At most, it's 3 rounds. You know, switch after 1. That's the classic format for overtime. So I think if you're Atrox here, you're going to want to, on attack, really focus on getting the intel and getting those frags and taking advantage of multiple angles. On defense, you want to get the roam going, and you want to get profit off of it. You know, waste time, get kills. For Anchorage, on defense, really just need to hold the line, especially on site. And then on offense, I think they just need to, or on attack, I suppose, they need to just be able to put pressure on the objective and do it quickly. If that means roam clearing quickly, then also that. But they just need to get on site or get pressuring site quickly.
Yeah, I think, our biggest change is just how quickly that pressure has been coming in. And I think being on the attack right now is going to favor Atlanta in overtime, just because attack's been favored throughout this matchup, winning 8 of the 12 rounds so far.
I would certainly agree, and I mean we just saw them make what, a 6-3 comeback,
Yeah,
6-4 on attack, so they're in a really prime position here. I'd say a bit early for them to be closing that off, but Dalton going to take down Stingray. Might be a bit of a twist of fate here, as they do manage to get this man advantage, which I think is the first time that they've gotten that in quite a bit for Anchorage. We'll have to see if they're able to capitalize on that, but not the best opening here if you're Atrox. And Dean is almost on site. I mean, he's at trophy. There's nobody around to try and push him. They've closed off that kids rotate, so nobody's going to try and deal with him through that sight line that they had set up earlier. They're in a... I mean, Atrox has a foothold here. We'll have to see if they're able to capitalize on it.
yeah, they have a foothold. They don't have the man advantage, but they do have some map control. They got a minute and a half to work with, and they're in a good position to try and start going for an execute, getting these walls open. I think they're going to need to get a mute jammer off that wall there, but you got the EMPs in pocket. The only problem I see is there isn't any presence over by tower. Not a whole lot of... I mean, obviously, no one's in drop either, so they can deny anyone from rotating into attic, but you don't want eyes dedicated to being in there the entire round. You want those focusing on covering your plant. So if you can push, well, I was going to say the Yana of Jose up, but he's been taken down by Kaons, and it's going to be a 5v3 now, and attic control is going to be in Dean's hands now. He's pushed up. He's actually in a good plant spot, but default plant is going to be filled here by... Can't quite tell who that is sitting there, but the nade's going to go off right next to him. They're not going to know. And that's going to be a TK coming out from Vox. I mean, yeah, it's not a position you'd expect him to be in, but you can't just mow him down like that. C4 coming out. They don't know the guy's on foosball, but they're still going to be able to take him down. That's a disser. Dapper trades it back onto Ant. It's going to be a 1v4 here, and so much for that attacking advantage. He knows one's coming up main, so good intel on that. But he's unable to get the frag here, and he's got 10 seconds to get all 4 kills here or a plant down, and that C4 is going to kill him from about a block away. How... That was quite the turn of events. I mean, yes, 3v5, I get it. It's going to be hard to cover 5 guys from killing your planter with 2 people. But you were in good position to try and funnel them through alleyways and, you know, get that plant down. However, mowing the head off of your plant cover typically isn't going to help you get it down.
Yeah,
That's just so unfortunate.
Unfortunate is maybe an understatement now as they're dealing with overtime match point, but I think to sum up that last round, Atrox went down on the opening kill. They managed to sort of mount a comeback. They got into good position, and then they imploded out of nowhere. Like
Yeah, they never
before.
clawed the frag count back. They never really built that back up. But the map control was being surrendered. They were able to take it pretty well. But that TK is just so unfortunate. I do think that, I mean, you had Ace with Case on Breach. Likely was going to run into Disser prone on Foosball. Because I'm 95% sure he had Case. So, probably not getting plant down, but if he follows into Attic, he had a free plant on Dean. So, I mean, yeah, just very unfortunate round. Probably one of the bigger, if not the biggest, what if of today. You can tell that there was no intel on Disser on Foosball either. As I'm looking back at the replay, but yeah, so he'll be moving on to this next round because that is all Atrox can do. All I can do is move on, hope to learn from that, put it in the past, not let it happen again. Are going to see the C4 prepped out of Jose on this door, probably waiting for it to pop open and then launching it out at barrels, but doesn't seem like Anchorage wants to play into that. No one pushing barrels yet. Looks mainly more like a main and tower-sided take. Possibly just funnel down all the staircases? I'm not sure. Ooh. So with the positioning of this Mira, if he's watching towards main stairs, he can actually get wallbang pretty easily from Freezer. So they could have seen that and made the call to try and take a Freezer take. Plus, we haven't seen a lot of stuff going on main stairs and freezers. But what we are going to see is some action over here in Z, and Kaon's getting the entry on the Stinger. It's going to be the second entry kill for Anchorage here in overtime. And that is going to be very important working forward, as you know, 70% of entry kills are converted into round wins at a professional level, of course, but that's where we get the best data from. So we are going to see. Oh, I don't think Dalder spotted out the player on T2 there. There was one on the landing, and he's looking up T3. I'm assuming he heard the player run down after the drone passed, because he doesn't appear to be playing there anymore. But they do seem to be concerned about someone tower. Even though there's no one there. But we'll see how this impacts the rest of the round, as they do still have main advantage. I mean, honestly, even if you think someone's up here, it's probably your best course of action is to go, we're going to ignore it, push down main, push down freezer, and go for this execute. And that's exactly what they're doing. And Kaon's is just going to take a nap in the middle of Freezer, and Ant's going to shoot him in the teeth. And that's going to even up the man count at 4-4 here with a minute left. You got some utility on the board. Got all 3 ace charges left. You've got 2 smokes of Capital left. You can try and open up that Freezer wall, get some smokes down, and get a plant down near Bomb Chassis, as your case is going to have to come in from Freezer. But Disser's going to get the kill on the Vox. That's going to try and open up these alleyways a little bit more.
Yeah, trying to make use of this utility here, gonna try and actually, I think, just burn out that mirror, provide them some cover, the ability to get onto site. Walks up Jose actually down there. Essentially a 2v4 situation. Dollar actually taking that courtesy of Dean. Looking for a second, he'll get it there. Ant actually takes down Disser. Okay, just ISO to try and clutch this round up, and that'll be Dean.
He goes for the kill finish.
Round out there.
That was, first off, wonderful play by the Soulless of Dean to claw that round back. But I gotta ask Dapper, I get it's a 1v3 and you probably down that guy and you're like, ooh, kill. But you're getting swung by someone. You kill them, you have a 1v1. Why go for the confirm?
I don't know.
I understand. I've definitely been there. I've definitely, like, we've all lost rounds because we went to confirm a kill because we went, ooh, that's going to pad the stats. But it's not going to win you the round. So, yeah, just unfortunate there. And, I mean, not to say anything bad about Atrox, they definitely repelled that execute very well. Obviously, again, I think name of the game was intel. They were not aware of Dean playing active on that long double door in the laundry, was able to mow down the player that came in laundry and then the player on freezer, and at that point, it was kind of a lost cause. You don't have case in hand, you don't have the clock in your favor, you just kind of got to try and throw things at the wall and see what sticks. And obviously nothing did, it all split right off that wall, so we'll be moving into our final round here. We do not have infinite OTs. It's basically entirely phased out of T1 Siege at this point. We follow similar formats. We'll be seeing a basement defense here from Anchorage, seeing if they can pull off this upset all on one round now. feels weird boiling down, a game of this caliber that's been both teams that have very high highs, very low lows at times, just to boil it down and go, okay, one round, whoever wins it gets the game.
Yeah, putting all the marbles in this one last round, and I think it's also just gonna come down to can Ant and the rest of Atrox really execute a push here, really coordinate, get that intel, make the best of that intel here. They are bringing that Monty. We've seen the
We'll
Monty
see
be
if they've learned.
but we've also seen it be a non-factor. The smoke gonna be a bit of an issue. There's no Oryx to worry about, thankfully, but that smoke playing this active role there in elbow, I think company there's no mirror actually, so not really having to worry about that. But having to deal with that smoke playing really active, setting off all his smokes really early.
Yeah.
There's minutes left, and he's used all of his utility.
Smoke's
That's
gone.
probably not the best. Best
All
decision
smoke's
to make.
gone. One C4 off site, and only the Bandit C4 left to play on site. That's going to be a very large lack of plant denial if we get to that point. I mean, we've seen Vox put down 3 plants so far to this point, so you got to be prepared for that. We'll see if they've learned with the Monty. He's going to try just push up on the smoke solo as Stingray takes down Dalder on the other side of the map. We're going to see if they can clear out the smoke and see if they learned from their mistake before on how to clear out a smoke with a Monty. He has no smokes left. He poses no threat, so Monty just has to get active on him as Ace comes into swing, but it seems like Ace is just holding angles. He just wants to protect the Monty from being shot from an off angle while Monty tries to push back the smoke, but as long as his shield stays extended, Smoke has nothing to worry about. And the bigger thing to worry about is going to be Ant coming down the back stairs, accompanied by the twitch of Dean, chilling on 17 kills. It's going to be Dapper getting lit up, sorry. And the shotgun shot coming very close, and that's how you do it. Got him distracted. Vox is going to come in, get the kill on the Disser. 5v3, no reinforcement off. It's going to be Saylas down as well, fragged out by Dean, who also lights up the alibi of Kaons, and Kaons is going to be the last one left. 75 health and a very large dream. He's going to get one, and that's going to be a map in favor of Atrox as they pull it all the way back from 6-3.
And big comeback from Atrox, as you pronounce them, just really able to stymie the momentum there of Anchorage.